You're looking into building Demir Mill Control in Standard or in Historic? You're up against Luris, which probably means Auras. We are on the play, which means our Anger of the Gods might actually be useful before their creatures outsize it. We'll be able to cast it. Alright, we'll keep. Demir Mill Control in Historic. Interesting. I saw Ali Antrazi play like a Delirium-style deck, like a self-mill deck in Historic the other day, and that was pretty cool. Had like the Narcomoeba Creeping Chill package with Brainstorm and a bunch of self-mill effects. I was thinking about playing that today, but I didn't want to lose a bunch of games. Oh, interesting. So this is Rogues. Our hand is not as good against Rogues. Alright. So next turn they'll put 3 cards in the bin and be able to drown and lock our Anger of the Gods. I think it's just vitally important that we get this to resolve. So we'll just do this now. You won't be able to play till the D&D set comes out? Why not? Is there some mill enabler I don't know about? Oh, that's excellent. Opponent's missing lands. So we'll just commit. Do we commit this? I think the answer is yes, honestly. Just keep him off the board. Alright. So we're on 3 cards in the bin, which I guess is a reason not to commit that, because now they can drown and lock our Narset. But if they do that, they're not going to be putting any pressure on the board. Do they have something in hand? Yes. So playing Narset here, even if they counter it, at least denies them like a Soaring Thought Thief, so it's worth doing. Okay, this is fine. Wow, we needed those. I honestly really like Rogues. I know that makes me, you know, look like the bad guy in the format, but oh, this is interesting. All right, so we are on 5 cards in the bin. Narset's dead if they want it dead, right? So let's just activate her now. Make sure we get a card out of her. Ooh, Prismari Command is nice. Prismari Command would have been a nice one to have when we had Narset in play, of course. Let's play the Prismari Command. And I guess we just say go. We can cast it now. Try to hit our land drop. Maybe that's better. Okay. It does kill the Thieves Guild Enforcer, but we have the Anger of the Gods that we can flash back with Mastery for that. Disco Visco, welcome to the screen. Welcome to the stream. Nice seeing those CGB Emmy emotes. We did find our lands. That's pretty nice. We're milling ourselves a little bit, which does enable their Into the Story, which sucks. I think I'm gonna put Teferi in the bin. Both of them. The reason I like Rogues is just because it isn't because it feels unstoppable, but it's because it leads to such interesting games. Like, you used to have things like Simic Flash, and that deck was really, are you on the draw, and do they have all the counter spells? And if the answer to both of those things is yes, you lose. But rogues, even if they have the nut draw, you can attack them on the front of your graveyard, which is pretty cool. Alright, so opponent... Interesting. So opponent didn't do anything. They have no action at instant speed. There's no stick. So what's in their hand is probably a counterspell, although it can't be Drown in the Loch, because Drown in the Loch would also hold priority. I think what we're going to do is we're going to flashback Magma Opus with Gear Hulk on upkeep. And if they counter it, they counter it. But they have to do it on their turn, and we'll be able to mastery back the Opus, or whatever we like next turn. They definitely have a counter of some kind, because they... Interesting. So they had it, but it wasn't taking priority. It's Controller's Graveyard. That makes sense. It's a pretty good draw. So we can Mizzix Mastery back at least Anger of the Gods, and hold up Veto. Which I think is the safe thing to do. We don't want to just die on the spot here. We can Mastery back Magma Opus, which might be better. But we can't kill both things with that. We have another Mastery in hand. Let's just deal with the board. Do they have anything they can do at instant speed? No? Alright. This play looks really conservative, but I think I'm going to make it. It also puts the cards into exile, so they can't get it back with Lurrus. And if they have like Into the Story here, we can veto it. Memory Lapse is a good draw. Yeah. Alright, let's do that. And this time, we'll get back Magma Opus. Into the Story with 1 mana available. I think we're pretty comfortable vetoing this. To make sure they don't have, like, Mystical Dispute. And we win. Nice. Cool. Alright, 1-0 with Jeskai. I feel like it takes a brave soul to play Rogues in Best of 1 Historic. I feel like there's just so much aggro, and that's Rogue's worst matchup. Sean6051, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Wow, I missed a bunch of follows, actually. Thank you, everyone who followed. Not sure why I didn't get notifications, but I really appreciate it. It helps me a lot. Honk Honk 47. What a name. Alright. So, have I become an affiliate? No, I'm working on that. One of the things I need for that is 50 followers, and I think I have 30-something now. More with the recent additions from you guys. I need people to talk in chat. So if you talk in chat, that's helpful. And I need people to watch. So if you stick around or just lurk, that helps too. Oh, it's mulled. We're on the draw. If we draw 1 land, we can use Prismari Command to dig for more land and make a treasure. I think we can keep this. 34? That's the number of followers I have now? Okay. Evil LK? Who's Evil LK? But Juka Bog turn 1. Alright. Oh, your alter ego. LK number 3. LK plus plus, if you will. Alright, so this is mono black, which is probably one of our worst matchups, I would think. If we shock in, it's the most obvious memory lapse in the world, isn't it? But I think we have to do it, otherwise they just get too much tempo. Welcome Lord Kaiju number 3, who is entirely distinct from Lord Kaiju number 2. We'll put that one back. Alright, opponent misses the land drop too, so we kinda sorta have a chance. Now we have the Magma Opus and Mastery combo though, so we're quite happy. Worst case scenario is they Thoughtseize me, but because their best play last turn was to play the Aetherborn, it's probably their best play again this turn, because we know they didn't draw the land. You're close to being affiliate? Cool. I am a little jealous of you, and I'm also very happy for you. Congratulations, that's awesome. Right. So, yeah, we just get to go off here with Magma Opus, right? We could Wrath of God, but that seems extreme. How long have you been streaming, Vincent? I don't even think I knew that you did stream. We'll kill you. And you. And tap you and you. Actually, yeah, sure, that's fine. We don't hit the land drop. That does suck. Wow. Aetherborn Tribal over here. I think I'm on board trading these, honestly. Actually, next turn we get to Anger of the Gods. Yeah, okay, we'll take it. Been streaming since January. And what do you stream? Do you usually stream Magic? Alright. I think we have a lot of good options here, but the most straightforward one is just Anger away their board. And attack. And play land Sega. Magic and Catan. Catan is popular in this circle, isn't it? I like board games in general. Catan just is not for me. Oh, yes. 1-for-1 removal and Historic. Love it. So they spent one Murderous Rider there. If we play Narset, there's some chance that it also gets Murderous Rider. We can Prismari Command, but I'd rather have that after we play Narset, not before. If they kill our Narset, they're not making any progress on the board. I think I'd rather Prismari Command, honestly. Try to hit our land drop, hold up Memory Lapse, which is even better. We don't hit our land drop, which honestly really sucks. Wrath of God is not a great target for Torrential Gearhulk, unfortunately. So I guess we're putting back Lightning Helix? Or in the bin we're putting Lightning Helix. And probably Memory Lapse as well, just to have something to hit with the Gearhulk. It does mean we don't do anything with our mana this turn, but our hand is just so stacked once we draw the land. And if opponent is just playing, yeah, 2-3 lifelinkers, and nothing we do really matters. Okay. Still can't draw land, which is kind of shocking, but hopefully Teferi can get us there, and it'll hold up Memory Lapse as well. Wow. I think that's okay. I think our plan next turn can just be to Wrath. Still no land. Alright. Well, we're wrathing the board and we're holding up memory lapse again. That's an unusual one in the mono black aggro decks. Discard a card, huh? I guess memory lapse. Oh, it's vampires. I don't know why I didn't make that connection. I thought it was normal mono black aggro. Village Rites makes even less sense in the vampires list. Anyway, no Sorin for you. Okay. Eat your heart out. This is one of those Thoughtseize concede moments, I think. Like, what do you take? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh, that was great. That was fantastic. 2-0. Oh, the best part was that it was a called shot, right? That I said, okay, it's time to concede. It's like when Mogwai used to make the explosion sound when he was doing his YouTube videos. All right. See if we can find our third win in a row. Up against Gigantha, which I didn't need the 5th land, I never drew it. Up against Gigantha, which is probably Niv Mizzet, possibly Jund Food. If it's Niv, then the memory lapses are like okay. If it's Jund, then they're pretty awful. I think we can mull this one. I think we need to do a little better. That said, if we draw like Magma Opus, we're kind of doing it, right? We're just kind of signing up for not doing anything for the first 2 or 3 turns of the game, though. I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, this is better. Now, the $1 million question is, do we keep Dovin's Veto or do we keep Anger of the Gods? And the question is, like, if they're Niv, then we keep Veto. If they're Jund, we keep Anger. If they're Jund, we do have Lightning Helix to deal with one of their creatures, and Veto still hits a target. If they're Niv, Anger hits nothing. So I think that's a good enough reason to put back Anger here. But there is a good chance that this Veto will just rot in our hand. Especially on the draw, because Trail of Crumbs comes down on turn 2. So it might sneak in under the counterspell. But I think they're probably Niv. Okay, yeah, Niv it is. Our hand is not great against Niv, of course. You played Dominaria Standard? I wasn't around for Dominaria Standard. I started with Guilds of Ravnica and didn't really play seriously until... Geez, War of the Spark, I think. That's irritating. That probably takes Veto, I would think. Takes Teferi, okay. Niv didn't like Gigantha's deck building constructions? Not really, right? Do I counter this? I honestly think I do. And hope to draw something good. Gigantha only cares about having, like, double symbols in the mana cost. Not sure what Niv would want to run that has double... Isn't Niv to Light in Modern? Anyway, I think all the Niv decks run Gigantha. Yeah, can't stop that one. I mean, it is like, you know, Diamond Arena Ladder. There's probably some Niv decks that don't. But anyway, I strongly suspect we're getting Niv next turn, and it's not going to be pretty, and we're going to lose. We need to draw... Commit, I suppose, would do it. Or Memory Lapse buys us another turn. And that's really it. That is none of those things. But we can bluff it. Yeah, the Casualties of War. That card was sweet. Yeah. Nothing we can cycle the land into here, so we'll just see what they get, I suppose. Drown in the Lock, Vanishing Verse. Okay, a bunch of kill spells that we don't really care all that much about. Yeah. Interesting. So... I guess there's a sequence where we can Narset, hit Magma Opus, cycle it on their turn, and try to resolve a Torrential Gearhulk the following turn. But I'm not really seeing a way out of this, unfortunately. Don't tap the white. Why would you do that? Two Lightning Helixes does kill Niv, I guess. But I think that's a little too small. I think we try to take Teferi. They have a lot of options here. A lot of ways to kill Narset. They can use Lightning Helix, they can use Mortality Spear, they can attack her. There's probably... Some of these decks are running Fracture, which is also a way to do it. But not many. It's mostly a sideboard card, but maybe in Best of 1 you bring it in, I'm not sure. Best of 1 is not really my scene. Best of 1 Historic, even less so. I'm pretty sure that's the right call for the opponent to attack Narset there instead of using a spell on her. Inquisition is frustrating. I guess we fire this face. Now they see the Gearhulk. We do get to resolve it. Drown in the Lock doesn't counter it. Unless they have another, like, Thoughtseize effect. Now, if we do play the Gearhulk, what do we get back? That's the problem, right? Nothing. Nothing. So I guess we're holding on to it in the hopes that they cast a spell. We bring back Gearhulk, and we counter it. We could Wrath God here. Like, there's a non-zero chance that these three cards are also just Niv, and Wrath doesn't get us anywhere. I think we're resolving Gearhulk and hoping for the best. If I play Gearhulk, Helix... Well, yeah, that assumes the Gearhulk isn't going to die. But the Gearhulk is going to die to the Mortality Spear, right? Yeah. I think it is forced. We just need to get some sort of oh, actually? Well. Maybe opponent missed that. Alright, so we're down to 4 cards in the bin. So Teferi resolves through a Drown in the Loch. If he does, what do we do with it? We can minus on the Niv, which is the only way... This still kind of sucks, right? If we minus Teferi on the Niv, they get to Helix it. It gives us a few turns to try to draw interaction for the Niv Mizzet. If we plus Teferi, then he dies and we'll never resolve another spell again. I think we have to minus as bad as it feels. And this assumes they don't have, like, memory lapse as well. If they have memory lapse, this is over as is. Hey, Pom Pom. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, and we were right. Like, another one of those cards was Niv. And they hit Drown of the Loch, Iteration. And they're gonna counter our Wrath of God. Yep. I don't see a way out of this one. Cool. Alright. Tried to claw back into it, but the first few turns of the game was just too awkward to overcome, I think. Opponent did leave the door open with that Vanishing Verse play, letting us get the Gearhulk in under Drown of the Loch, but just not good enough. 2-1. Lurrus again, so it's either Auras, in which case Wrath of God is really good, or it's Rogues, in which case they're pretty medium. We're on the draw again, which sucks. I think this hand is a little too good to fold. I think we'll keep this. But we do need to draw land. Alright, so it is blue-white Auras, and we did draw the land. Vanguard's pretty good. Like, really good, unfortunately. Makes our Wraths look pretty dumb. Maybe I should have shocked in the Steam Vents there to be able to cycle the Opus. I just feel like there's an aura coming that we're going to want to counter. Like that one. We do need a solution to the Vanguard. Teferi on turn 5 is still just a little too slow. If we shock in, actually, if we commit ourselves to shocking in one land, cycle Opus, and shock in again, all the while taking at least 5 next turn. But, like, there's no other solution, right? Otherwise they just make the Vanguard indestructible and we lose. Alright, no pre-combat auras. Well, in one way it's nice because it means we're taking less to the face. Like, in a weird way, we're kind of hoping for a creature. Yeah, now, see, we're gonna get spell pierced. So, knowing that spell pierce is coming, we can play Wrath. At least kill the 1/1. If they don't have another creature, then hopefully next turn we can get Teferi down around the Spell Pierce. Or do we have to jam Teferi right now? The Wrath I don't think is getting any better. Let's try to get them to invest a few more auras in the Vanguard. And then Teferi minus on it next turn. It is possible we're just dead. Yeah, okay. So we take 5 here. We do have Magmopus in the bin. So we can flash in Gearhulk on their upkeep, which does play around Spell Pierce, actually. And we can tap down their creatures. Draw a few cards. We do have to go to 2 for the privilege. But then we can Teferi minus on the Vanguard and hope the Gearhulk gets in the way of the Saram. I think that's probably our best bet. I'm like, don't counter me, bro. Do we do it now? Yeah, we do. Because they have a lethal threat anyway, they're just going to go straight to combat. Alright. So... 2 damage at you. 2 damage at you. Yeah. And tap you and you. And if they have like a protection spell for the Vanguard. Yeah, okay. Or a Spell Pierce. Yeah, we weren't beating that one either. But I'm confident that was in their hand in the beginning, too. So if we hadn't played the Wrath that turn and it just jammed Teferi, I think we were in even worse shape. So I think it was the right play. 2 and 2. Takahiro himself. You think it's fine? Teferi is gone. What makes you say that? I must be lost. Hand looks reasonable. We get to stall against aggro till we get to Teferi. Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. That was like literally printed on the card on interactive Magic, but is there something in particular making you think of Teferi 3? Did I say something? Youthful Valkyrie. I think I'll just kill that one. Oh, I see, okay. Yeah, we'll kill that one. Let's keep our life total high. They'll play into the Wrath sooner or later. Actually, I suppose the Lightning Helix would have been better knowing that Company is almost certainly coming. Yeah, so do we wrap this board? if we wrap this board, we're tapped out. They may feel like they can play the company main phase, which lets us get to Fairy down and remove, you know, their strongest threat if we want. Like, saying go is ambitious here, right? But maybe it's okay. Actually, I think it is okay. I think we say go, and then they play a bunch of creatures. We send out a sacrificial to Fairy, get them to commit to the board. And then Wrath after their Coco, which they clearly have here. Alright, you think we Wrath, so you might be right. Yeah. See, this is why I think the holding the Wrath makes sense. Because, like, sure, they're gonna kill Teferi, but we're gonna kill all of this value. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, I think I was right too. The only way that we're not punished, that we're punished there, is if they like don't have Coco. But if they don't have Coco, we're doing just fine anyway. And now they're gonna make an angel with the Speaker of the Heavens, and we're gonna have one of the best Wraths of God of all time. So they do get a bunch of tokens from the Bishop of Wings. Like, we're gonna need to draw another Wrath. Yeah, so they get 6 tokens. We're gonna need to find another Wrath, but, you know, digging through our deck is what our deck does. Speaking of digging through our deck... if they have another Coco, do they? Doesn't look like it. So they're just playing around another Wrath. They have more creatures in hand, but they don't want to deploy them. I play Teferi. Okay. Okay. So let's see how they attack, I guess. Everything at the face. Okay. So I think we Prismari Command now because there's a chance we can find a Lightning Helix. And I guess if we do that, then we're discarding the other Prismari Command. And do we want another treasure token? Another treasure token lets us Prismari Command again if we whiff. I think I like just killing one of these 1/1s. Okay. See, that's a play that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Sure. Narset digs deeper. So, like, why Coco there? There's really no good reason. We're under so much pressure that we need to act on our turn anyway. But it is find a Wrath or bust. How do we feel about Lightning Helix? Gets us up to 7. They're attacking us for 7. We'll kill one thing. Alright, kind of living on the edge there, but it's nice to have in our back pocket. How likely are we to find a Wrath? Just out of curiosity. 5% per card. Another Teferi, another Narset. I guess Narset. Do we play Narset again? We can't find anything useful with it this turn. We're gonna untap 2 mana. That we don't have anything to do with otherwise. Let's just dig deep. Okay. And now attack with everything. And I guess we want to Lightning Helix the Soul Warden. I suppose we can let them attack first. And we're down to 1. Of course, the Anger of the Gods is totally face up, so... We may need to minus Teferi on this Bishop of Wings to stay alive. Do they have a Coco? Doesn't seem like it. It's not bad. It does look like we need to minus... Well, we can make a token with the castle, I suppose. So we have 3, 6, 8 mana available. Which leaves us enough to castle and memory lapse. Okay, I'll plus.
Keep up the pace.
That's pretty good. So that's 8, 9 mana with well, you know, like a suicidal Gearhulk to just wrath the board. If nothing else. Alright. Angel of Vitality. Sure. I can't cast Wrath with Gearhulk? Why can't I cast Wrath with Gearhulk? It's not true. Oh, you're right. It is true. Never mind, I'm done. Okay. Good to know. Opponent got tired of my bullshit anyway. So that's a 3-2 run. Fizzled out a little bit after the early success. But that is enough historic for me for now, I think. And now we get back to standard.